I love the culture there. One thing that stood out to me about the Botswana people is that they are an incredibly happy people. They are very welcoming and open. They're so happy. They have a lot of struggles. There is a huge poverty problem. There are a lot of people who are barely scraping by, but they're happy. They're welcoming. They are a quiet people until you get them into like family gatherings or social situations. And once you do that, they are so loud and so fun. If you ever have the opportunity to go to a wedding, do it. It is so much fun. They dance and sing. I don't know how it happens, but it seems like everyone there is an incredible singer. And everyone is an incredible dancer. And they just love to dance and sing in social settings. And for any occasion that they can find. I had my birthday in one of those areas in Gaborone, and my companion went around and told everybody that it was my birthday, and I'm pretty sure every single person that found out sang and danced for me. It was great. It was so much fun. Some holidays that are different from ours, they have, obviously it's different from us, is their Independence Day, and people go crazy for their Independence Day, which is at the beginning of October. It's a lot of fun. There are huge celebrations. People are very proud of their country. It's an officially declared Christian nation, so Christian values are part of their culture. There's a lot of drinking and drug use, mostly because that's what people know, and they, I think, don't realize how bad it is. But they are Christian people. Like, if you listen to the radio as you're going into stores and things, they'll have Christian songs just playing in public places. It's great. Some cultural do's and don'ts. If you are talking about a child, sometimes here we'll say, oh, I have a little kid, and you'll sort of gesture like this to kind of say how tall they are. That's a big no-no. They have this weird superstition that if you do this when talking about a child, it will stunt their growth. So instead they do this. So they say, oh, my little son, or oh, my little boy, my little daughter, and they'll kind of do this motion instead of this one, which is just kind of a little thing to note. If you go to someone's house and they aren't there, they'll do this, like saying, they're not here, I don't have any. So if people come up to you and ask you for money, which will happen, if you just do this, kind of like, you can sort of shrug your shoulders, they'll know you don't have anything or you can't help them. And the same thing, if someone's not home, they'll either do this or they'll do this. So if you go to someone's house and maybe if there's a kid in the front and you say, oh, is your mom or dad home? And they do this, that means they're not home. Or if they do this, that means they're not home. If you are going around tracting, if there's a gate or a fence around someone's house, and so you can't access their door, you can yell, Coco, which I don't know why that is, but if you yell Coco, they know that there's someone there. It's like a greeting, like saying knock knock or hello. You say Coco, and someone will come out to greet you. So that's another kind of fun thing about their culture. And also, just if you're knocking on someone's door, you can say that just to sort of announce that you've arrived. There are a lot of just little quirky things like that that you'll pick up as you're serving that are just really fun things to get used to. One thing, if you are an American, this probably goes for other countries too, but at least for Americans, we speak a lot faster than they do, and we don't enunciate as well as they do. And so while I was serving, I had to learn to slow down my speaking and enunciate a lot better, pronounce my T's and my R's and everything a lot more carefully. Otherwise, they had no idea what I was saying. Yeah, they're just a fun people. They're not hard to love, and they're very hard to leave. So be prepared for that as you go home. And another thing about their culture, kind of skipping back to that, I think here in America, there are a lot of stigmas about labeling people as black or white or whatever other color. But there, it's more of just a fact. Like, this person is white, this person is black. And it's not, I don't want to say that racism is not there, because it is, but they're more comfortable for some reason using just words like white or black to describe people's skin tone. So if someone tells you that you're pale or that you're white, don't get offended by that. Or if someone says, wow, you're a very dark black person, also don't be offended by that. Their culture is just very open and honest about skin tone, which was a bit shocking at first, but it was very refreshing once I got more familiar with it. And also, jumping back to culture, one other thing that I didn't mention, they are very, very honest people. There was one of my areas where I started gaining some weight, and everyone told me that they noticed. And it's not rude for them. It's telling someone that they've gotten bigger is not rude for them. So if you have acne, or if you gain weight, or if you lose weight, or if you're just really tall compared to your companion, or just anything about your appearance, do not be offended when they mention it, because it's not meant to be offensive. There was a sister that I served with who had a lot of freckles, and everyone told her that she had a disease. And it wasn't that they were being mean. They were just honestly concerned for her well-being, and they wanted to let her know that she had a disease. And again, it's not offensive. And so if someone tells you something that sounds offensive, it's honestly, they're just being honest with you. And so just try to not take it to heart. One of my favorite things about my mission was just interacting with the children there. There are children everywhere. They just roam the streets. Parenting there is a lot more relaxed than it is here. Parents, from the time their kids are very, very small, let their kids just sort of roam around. And so you'll interact with a lot of children. And that's one of my favorite things. I remember going to a house one time to teach this woman, and all of the neighborhood kids were there. And there was one who was fascinated for some reason by our name tags. And so I took my name tag off and let this kid play with it. And he ran off with it. So I chased after him and got my name tag. And when I found him, he had somehow fit the entire thing into his mouth, which, looking back, is pretty gross, but at the time was just hilarious. So the kids are really funny. If you are white, they will call you Makoa, which is just how they say like a pale-skinned person. But it's also just foreigner. So if you're walking down the streets and children are shouting, "Makoa, Makoa," they're just very surprised to see a white person there, or a person of any other color but black.